This is the Brick Commentary Central. You're listening to the BCC podcast. It is Monday, May 23rd of 2022, and you're listening to episode 309 of the BCC podcast. I'm LQ. Joining me today is Maluris.
My cry fills the night.
It's awful. Also, Mace.
My crying fills the
And Ford.
My crying puts me to sleep.
Boo.
Mine was just depressing.
Yeah. Well, hey guys, we're here. Who thought this would happen? We actually got to watch Ninjago before the rest of the world saw it.
Yeah,
and,
for 3
and it was hidden
days.
away.
Yeah, disclaimer. This was something I hope I wouldn't have to put on the podcast. Turns out it was all a fluke. Lego privatized all the episodes. Privatized is the wrong word, maybe. Or maybe it's the right word.
I don't know what Lego's been doing recently.
Privated.
Like for the past year, they've been holding on to this like very high, high caliber, very, very powerful gun. And they've been just firing it in all directions. But for some reason, they keep shooting themselves in the foot. I don't get it. And this includes this. Like,
Yeah.
you do something good. You start, marketing Ninjago for once. And then for some reason, you just decide we're just going to
I hate that we have to start off talking about this because they're so good.
We're just going to cut off our best marketing arm in years because, by
Why does
golly,
life keep doing
one of
this?
the best
Like,
seasons.
I just want to be positive and have fun.
I was like,
I know,
wow,
right?
it's great that they released an Ninjago episodes. Then I came to sit down for this podcast, and then they told me, yeah, no, they're gone. I'm like, what? I mean, we're lucky that we literally saw it yesterday.
Yeah,
we just barely made the cut here because
So arbitrary and stupid.
Like, I just kept on thinking today, it's like, hey, Lee, you did watch this, right?
Yes.
It's like, imagine me thinking that the arch Ninjago fan missed his chance to watch.
Yeah, that would have been awful. Luckily, it's not the case, and luckily, I do know where you can still get them.
Yo ho ho.
I have a bunch of different theories. We could have a whole episode just talking about that incident, but you know what? I really don't want to. I want to talk about Ninjago for once. Just pure, unadulterated Ninjago episodes. So that is what we're gonna do, dang it. Yeah!
So Ninjago.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Oh, we got the first 12 episodes. I've heard multiple reports on how many more. I've heard some people say as high as 30. I've heard most people say at least 12 more. But all in all, it's supposed to be a longer season than normal.
Good.
I mean, I would think if they're going for, like, the model of previous years, it would be roughly 30 episodes total. This seems like a
An arc
two-season
normally
sort of
gets
thing.
16.
Yeah, so like either like 15, 16, I would think. So I think they'd want to go for 30, 32 episodes. In
So
total.
the 30 thing is not out of the question, and I'd hope, because that means we've only seen about a third of it.
I mean, I think it would be interesting if they did 30, but then they did like a 45-minute special just to tie it all off. 'Cause it
I'm
seems
sure they
like
won't
it
do
could
that,
go that way.
because with Wild Brain, one of the things was only 15-minute episodes,
Okay, whatever.
which I still don't
did
like.
I say
but
45? I meant like a 22.
They have gotten a
special or
lot
something
better
like
at
that.
utilizing those 15-minute time
Oh,
slots,
definitely, yeah.
but I still think it detracts from the overall.
I feel like their first 2 seasons are kind of like rough, like in the fact that they were kind of just starting off. Like, okay, I don't think they were focused on doing anything super story heavy, but after that, it definitely, I feel, picks up, and we've gotten a lot of great seasons back to back after the ice season, basically, and it's just
and
like
the island. We also got that.
well.
And that's
Yeah.
a special. They didn't really care about that.
Yeah, it was so. That is the worst. It's just the worst.
Yeah. that is disappointing, but I kind of glossed over it in my short-term memory there.
I mean, yeah, at least it was short. You guys know Twitchy was supposed to get a minifigure, but apparently the minifigure packs are canceled because of supply issues.
Yep.
That
Yeah.
There was
sucks.
also supposed to be like a cut set with Twitchy, I think. Like
Was there?
it was supposed to be called Twitchy something. Like
Oh yeah, that was
Twitchy
that was
in
the
the
minifigure
title.
pack. It was the accessory pack.
Yeah,
Okay,
Twitchy
never
Tim's
mind.
Bizarre Adventure.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
I feel like they
So-
could still do it though, right? Like they could still release it.
Yeah, they could, but they haven't released a minifigure pack since the one with Clutch, I believe.
Oh, that's true.
So I wonder if that
We're-
thing with Clutch, that was supposed to be, like a regular thing that they'd have a special pack with an exclusive minifigure every wave,
I'm thinking so, but maybe that one just didn't do too well.
or like every year. No, they
Yeah.
said it was because of supply issues, not because of sales.
I don't know. I don't trust what Lego says these days.
Well,
I
this
mean, they did just.
I trust
upload
who this
all
came
of
from.
the-
This came from Neek.
I mean, yeah, I get that, but I don't know.
I trust everything Neek says, even if I don't agree with it.
Yeah, I don't think he's capable of lying at all. He's a
He
good
is
guy.
He is a good boy. He is a good
He
boy.
is.
Yes.
Oh, I should take out my notes. I made some notes.
Oh, good. Somebody did.
I mean, we had a nice spoiler-free version.
Oh,
Let's
that
go
was
into all the
so
spoilers.
nice. Yeah. This is going to be spoiler heavy because we're just going to discuss it. Like I said, if you want to see it, it's not up on YouTube anymore. There are ways to find it. You know what? If you're really struggling,
There
join
are
the Discord
ways.
server. Link in the description below. I'll help you out. I can hook you up.
Yeah, when you get to the Discord server, there's just going to be a guy that appears with a trench coat on. He's going to give you all the secrets you need to watch this show. 'Cause that really is what you need to do to even be able to watch Ninjago anymore, as far as news episodes and
We
seasons
thought
go.
it was going to be better, but it's
Like,
not. But like I said, we're not going to talk about that part. Let's just talk about the show itself. Like I said, spoiler alert from here on out. There's no good way to do a spoiler-free review. The trailer tells you all that you could know with the spoiler-free stuff. Also, I think everything in the trailer was covered in these first 12 episodes. So that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
I
Wow,
mean,
yeah.
going through it now, yeah. And I'm glad, too. Like, they didn't overstep their boundaries with it. So, yeah.
Watch, Ninjago's just canceled before any more episodes come out.
Don't say that.
Like
because
Woody's
it's really
Roundup.
True.
That shit, like, so it's like someday someone has like a Kai minifigure, it comes to life in someone's garage, and then it's like some other toy shows at the Ninjago TV show, and it's like, hey, what happens next? What happens with the Crystal King? He's like, that's it. The show was canceled. That would be hilariously sad.
Yeah.
They wouldn't cancel this show.
Uh,
It's too popular.
Well, yeah, that's a discussion for another time.
Mm.
Like I said, let's just discuss the show. Let's have fun for once in our lives.
But only once.
So,
Can't be overdoing
I will
it.
say these first episodes, they use a lot of tropes we've seen before, but they did them so well I don't really care.
Yeah. I mean, watching the season, it kind of reminded me of Skybound a little bit and just how it was presented.
I mean, I can see that, especially because one of the main tropes they rip off was Skybound, except they spend a lot more time developing it than in Skybound.
Yeah.
So, I'm trying to think of the best way. Let's go through bit by bit here. So,
No, I think episode by episode, if
Yeah.
you can remember which episodes are
well,
which.
I'm just
is
gonna.
probably
I will
kind of
link a
best.
wiki synopsis for you guys so we can be on the same page.
Yeah.
Well, the first episode was just the ninja being sad because
Yeah,
the girl was
it's
dead.
just like
I actually like that.
It
But
is
Yeah.
exactly. It was again a kind of something I've done before with tournament
Yeah.
elements, but
I
Well,
was
I
gonna
feel like
say,
this kind of is, dealing with the loss of Nia very
Yeah.
seriously for the most part.
and I think
Jay has a beard.
Yeah.
And, like,
Wait, was that this episode?
it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Zane decides to turn off his emotion chip or whatever.
Yeah.
That lasts a good long while.
Yeah.
It is interesting that this time, like, Cole was the one that stuck there because, he got over Nia years ago.
He's like, yeah, I've been there, done that, the whole death thing. Unfazed.
This just shows that like Cole is the Chad of the group. Like he doesn't need some woman to tie him to all of this.
Well, I'm glad they actually
he's his own man.
developed Kai with it and actually had him feel something over his sister dying because you didn't get that at the end of Seabound.
Wait,
No,
did you just say Kai got character development?
For the first time.
Very little.
Technically, it's the same development he had in the pilot because that was literally just all about him trying to protect his sister.
That is also true.
Hell, hey, at least they're consistent.
Well, Kevin, you're saying something?
Shoot. Oh yeah, I was kind of liking the vibe of Cole. This whole season so far is like it's kind of harkening back to him like trying to be the leader of the group, even though like Sensei Wu's kind of uninvolved. Cole is the one like, yeah, let's get the band back together. Also, I do think the new voice actor, Moro's voice actor, forgetting his name.
Andrew Francis.
Yeah. I think he did like a really great job of making Cole like a bit older in this season because it's been a year since.
Yeah, that's nothing. I was expecting we got a time skip. The ninja are approaching their 30s at this point.
And he does kind of grow up Cole and he does sound similar to, Cole, but it does feel like, he's doing his own take, a bit more grown up, a bit more like mature at this point. So I like that.
Yeah, there was no point where I thought it was off-putting at all.
Yeah.
Like,
because it was a bit off-putting when you first pointed it out to me, like in the trailer. Oh, that's not even Kirby Moro. And I'm like, wait, oh yeah, it isn't. And then you kind of hear like, oh, he does sound a lot like Moro right now. But then you just start watching it, and then it sounds fine. So I'm glad that I wasn't like really distracted. I feel like
they're doing Jay's voice a bit deeper this season too.
They definitely
I feel
are.
like they are kind of taking that time jump a bit more seriously, and they are aging up the characters a bit more. Like Zane, because he has his depression meter on, also has like a deeper voice in general.
So one of the first things also in this episode, and I'm surprisingly intrigued by this. What the heck is up with the new ninja?
Yeah, we still have no answers of any
I feel
kind.
like we are going to get answers eventually, but right now, again, it is either halfway through the season or hopefully just a third of the season. So maybe it's just they decide to throw that in there just because they could.
We'll never get minifigures of them.
Oh, definitely not. For some reason, I kept thinking that I think it's like the fuchsia guy with the hammer.
I think the pink one is the hammer.
Okay, whatever. I don't know, man. I kept thinking that he, like, under the mask, kind of looked like, just from what I recall seeing, because I only saw Master of the Mountain once. I kept on thinking he looked like the barbarian dude.
Korgon?
Yeah.
I don't recall.
I don't remember what he sounded like.
It wasn't that
either.
He sounded Russian.
No. Okay. I don't know. These are just random people then.
Yeah.
Also, the first episode,
their outfits look pretty awesome, actually.
They definitely have something to do with the mayor, who's
also the mayor.
Evil.
Yeah, the mayor just showed up. He was referenced to him briefly in March of the Oni, where the police chief was like, "The mayor never does anything."
His last name is Trustable, so that's how you know he's secretly a bad guy.
I don't know if he's necessarily a bad guy. I think he's been set up as someone who doesn't really
trust
care about
anyone
anything.
in authority. He's not trustable at all.
But that's his name.
He's a politician and he's not to be trusted.
True words were never spoken.
Yeah, it's funny how he's never appeared before and only been mentioned by name even once. Yeah,
why do they have
a
mayor
ton
and
of screen time? A mayor and what?
and a king. And
Well,
what
they
happened
said
with the king? Is the king just gone?
yeah,
Has he been replaced?
he's one of the deadest characters in the show.
Yeah,
Actually,
but has someone replaced him?
no, because they
I
were
mean,
just figureheads and their bloodlines now dead. Remember, because they had
oh,
no daughter,
true,
they adopted
true.
Harumi.
They were the queen of England. I got
Yep.
you. I got you.
Yeah, Hutchins though. Hutchins is like the deadest character in all of Ninjago.
You never even got a chance.
Yeah,
it's
Oh,
a
Zane's
shame.
dad is pretty dead too.
He is. I get, but Zane's dad didn't get a minifigure, which makes him slightly less dead because he was
True,
barely
true,
alive
true.
to begin with.
True.
He was.
And he
Well,
died
that's
like a
here's
decade
the thing.
ago.
Here's the thing. At least Hutchins has been immortalized in plastic.
Yeah.
Zane's father, not so much.
Yeah, which is a shame, but it's
No.
also just so weird that he gave Hutchins a minifigure in the premiere set of that wave,
Yeah,
and Hutchins
right.
is killed off in episode 1. Literally, like the most killed off Ninjago has done.
Oh man.
And like, the thing is, he doesn't even have enough of a presence that anyone would ever think to mention him to bring him back.
So like, why did they make the figure in the first
I don't
place?
know.
Like,
Maybe he
like,
had a
was it-
bigger role at first and had to be cut, or
I mean, I'm thinking like they just needed a scapegoat, and they figured, hey, we can put that in the sets and make it a scapegoat for the for the bad guy.
yeah. Unfortunately, it didn't work. But
But everybody knew where they were going. Everybody knew.
I mean, I doubted it a bit at first. But
Who knows?
yeah,
Who knows what they were thinking?
but yeah, the
But yeah,
mayor's around.
I
Also,
did think.
is Ninjago a feudalistic country? 'Cause it sounds like the mayor basically only has jurisdiction in the city, and we don't know of any higher form of government.
Mm.
I don't know.
Well,
Maybe it
good
is.
question.
I mean, I think the mayor has more jurisdiction because he called in the
That's true. He called him that other
guy. Yeah,
I mean,
Town
hey,
dog.
I am all for smaller localities and less centralized government.
Yeah, I don't really like feudalism though.
Eh.
but it is sort of like this Japanese-based thing, so feudalism would make sense.
I mean, they do still live with Jamanakai Village, and they're all.
Yeah, the only
poor,
other thing we know.
so-
Yeah, we also know that like Shintaro is its own country with a whole different system of government, and
Mhm.
supposedly Metalvania or Vonia is also a different system of government. Who runs Styx? I don't know. Is that just anarchy? Is that just like a libertarian town?
Nice.
No wonder Ronan likes it so much.
Well, I mean
I
that's
looked up Hutchins, and yeah, he was supposed to come back a little bit later as a red herring for who the quiet one was.
Oh, is that
But they ended
confirmed?
up, yeah, by
Oh.
Tommy and whatever. But yeah,
Cool.
I know a lot
So-
had to be cut from Sons of Garmadon because it was so ambitious, but
yeah.
that stinks.
So Hutchins and Echo Zane are two casualties.
the
of
Emperor
that.
and Empress also are very dead. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, Mace, you just triggered me. Okay, so they go to the lighthouse. We haven't talked about
Apologies.
actually one of my favorite tips. They go to the lighthouse here, and I was so excited 'cause I thought finally Echo Zane lives here. Where is he? Where is Echo Zane?
Lloyd killed. I mean,
Like
Jay
you would have
killed
thought that like maybe he'd be walking around like keeping Jay company with his glasses of water, I guess.
He was right about the water, though.
Well, no, not that water. That
I
was,
mean, it
that
would have
was
been
one of the best jokes.
Like
though.
think of like it would have been a great gag, right? It's like Echo Zane just like trips over some water and it just shorts him out. And he's like, "Ah, great! I gotta fix him again." Like something
do wonder if
like
it-
that would have been a good gag to just like
I
get rid of some
cannot
of the
believe
tension, I
though
guess.
that they because I know Tommy is very aware of people's want for Echo Zane to make a reappearance, and we do have Mr. F now.
Mhm.
Which anyone who has followed Ninjago closely knows that Mr. E was originally going to be Echo Zane. So maybe Mr. F could be Echo Zane for all we know. I feel like then they put the lighthouse in there deliberately. There's no way they just forgot about Echo Zane.
Hmm.
It's really weird that we're on to F. What even happened? Oh yeah, E got killed. No.
Yeah.
There was only ever Mr. E. What do you mean?
Yeah, and it's weird that we're on to a second one.
They had to, gotta
Lots
get
of
that
characters
visual
die and
iconography.
come back.
It could very much.
wasn't super
I'm
iconic.
not giving up hope that Echo Zane will get something this season, but I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't.
I mean, like every other character's coming back. So
Yeah, so-
why not?
We got a lot of Dareth, and that was nice.
But yeah, like the stuff with Jay was absolutely just hilarious, and what's probably one of my favorite jokes where he's like, "That's it's archive where the saying says, Jay, this is tap water."
This is not from the ocean. And he just looks at him with like disgust. Like, but not to me.
I forget if it's in this episode or not.
What?
It's in the. I want to say it's in the.
No. I haven't even
third?
said what I said.
Yeah, I think that's in the
I was gonna
third
say, but they
episode.
do actually have a conflict with Kai and Jay, and actually expressing that Kai does actually care that his sister's gone.
That's
That
the
is
second
the third
one, I
episode.
think.
Okay.
But before we jump ahead too much, I do want to address the great writing and pun work of the writers. Kai is
boy.
running a dojo that is obviously Cobra Kai. Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
They did
Does
miss
help-
an opportunity there, though, that they could
Yeah.
have used his outfit from the battle packs a couple years back.
Ah,
Could
right.
have made all of his
Or
students
even-
serpentine. That would have made a better Cobra. God.
Okay.
Come on, that makes more sense.
Ninja have
than
abandoned
Future
schools
Dog.
of students so many times.
Yeah.
Okay, but I
But
think
Okay.
that's the
Yeah.
majority of that episode.
Episode 2 to me felt like a cop out.
From what happened in Seabound, or...
Yes.
I mean, I can understand that in a way, but in another, it does make sense. Like, if these were to premiere back to back, you know, if, like, we got this right after Seabound rather than a large gap, it wouldn't feel as much like a cop-out, I feel.
I mean, I do feel kind of the same. Like, yeah, they could have really gone a new direction with this, but they did, and it works well. But I feel like the execution was very poor throughout the episodes that this subplot is featured in, where it's just like, oh, we can bring her back. Let's bring her back. She's brought back. And
I mean, it was
then
handled
it's just
better
kind
than
of no
Zane.
big deal again afterwards because
I
they're
wouldn't
all
say
in
that.
prison.
But it also just like, not only did it feel like a cop out with just like how they're gonna get Nia back, because it's like, okay, yeah, fine. But it also just felt unceremonious when Niad just shows up. And it's like,
I'm
oh
okay
yeah,
with
I'm Niad.
that.
Yeah, that's cool. It's like, okay, but it's like the god of water, basically, just showed up right in front of us. And it's like, oh yeah, it's fine.
I mean, it makes sense it wouldn't be that big, because obviously Nia just doesn't really do that much.
And Nia, like, they're both one with the water, so in a sense they're kind of both the same, where they just don't care about anything but water, except Nia's kind of trying to remember, while Niad is just like, I've been here for thousands
I don't know,
of
I
years.
just
I
feel
don't
like-
got anyone
I can
left.
feel like it's kind of a cop-out, but what it makes me okay with is there's still a lot of consequences to Seabound.
Oh, definitely. But it just felt like with that one character interaction, it just kind of felt kind of like something was off. Like it felt sort of rushed.
Well, they did all have to fit it entirely into, like, 10 minutes, too.
And I get that. But like to have a character who is apparently so important to basically the creation of Ninjago as a whole, just kind of be in like 1 10-minute episode.
I don't think that's
and they
that
don't even
big
really
a
do
thing.
much.
Also, she's not really important to the creation. She did that whole thing kind of after the creation of Ninjago.
No, that was before creation. It was
Yeah, yeah.
pre-creation. It wasn't actually anything to
Like
help.
without her doing her thing and stopping Wajira, there would be no Ninjago to be created. Because
I thought
First
he
Ninjutsu
created
Master never would've
Ninjago,
created
but then
No,
there
no,
was like a war between.
No, before he could, when he got to Ninjago, it was just like the Endless Storm with Wajira.
and they
then
had to
after
stop
Naiad
Wajira
defeated
first.
Wajira, then the
before he
first
could do
Spinjitzu
that.
Master goes to the Golden Peaks where he gets the gold for the golden weapons, and he goes to forge them at the Temple of Light, which also predates Ninjago.
Oh.
And then he uses the 4 weapons of Spinjitzu to create the land of Ninjago. And then he gives the 2 amulets that split off Ojira, one to the islanders who are already there, indigenous people of Ninjago, and one to the Merlopians, the racists.
Well, there's only the one racist, actually.
They probably used to be more racist then, where he
Yeah,
learned it somewhere.
That is true, yeah. Mhm.
All
He's reading the
racism is
sacred
learned.
Merlopian texts.
But yeah, I feel like there's not a bunch more to discuss in there. Like, I could kind of hope they were going to keep Nia off, but then on the other hand, this makes the most sense because there's too many of like, what are they gonna do otherwise?
Mhm.
Like, they killed off their only female lead as well, and I understand that that's not a great look as even though I don't personally agree with it, I can understand that there would be issues.
I mean, she's a main character. They were going to keep her in anyway.
So,
but it just kind of feels like they could have just let it sit for a little while. They didn't have to do this right away.
I mean, technically, as far as the plot goes in the timeline, like, they did let it sit.
Yeah, but you should have let it sink in for a little while. Like, it's not so like.
I like it this way, kind of, because
it kind of reminds me of Endgame a little bit, of like of Avengers Endgame, where it's like you wait a year and then they just bring everybody back, even though technically in continuity it's about 5 years. Right?
This is exactly modeled after Endgame, actually.
Oh no!
Oh no, Thanos
it's based on the worst piece of entertainment media in the past decade.
No, Endgame's pretty alright.
It's
I would not say
there are so many terrible things. So many terrible things. So much worse.
They're coming out with Avatar 2. Let's not jump ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
Look, it's been downhill since then, okay?
Yeah, I wouldn't argue that, but you know what? I enjoyed Endgame. I'm not going to take that away from myself.
You do you, man.
You enjoyed it when you first saw it, too.
Wasn't I the first one to say that he should have given the shield to Bucky?
Yeah, but you still enjoy it. Just because you have an issue with the movie doesn't make it a bad movie.
I mean, I have a lot of issues with that movie.
So do I, but that doesn't mean you can't enjoy a movie.
Oh no, I feel like the issues nowadays just outweigh the things I like about it. It's a shame.
That's what people said about the prequels once.
I never said that about the prequels.
Exactly, Ford. Anyway.
I don't think this is the same situation, but whatever.
That's what
I will say this though. At least they're doing the Endgame formula better this time around. Overall. Seems like it anyway. I don't know.
I don't think I have a big enough issue with that part of Endgame as you to the point where I care.
At least they're not playing hard and fast with the rules. Like they're keeping everything in pretty good continuity.
I mean, Ninjago has played hard and fast with the rules many times,
but this time they're not.
Yeah,
they're keeping it all within the continuity and doing something new with it.
That's another thing is that they use this whole thing to actually be a catalyst that makes the plot make sense. Like the ninja being in prison this time makes way more sense overall.
Yes, but anyway, yeah. So like episode 3. I guess we should go for that first.
Yep, the shape of Nia. So Nia comes in with the glass of water. Zane freezes her so they can bring her back.
Hang on. We're missing some important details here. We forgot to mention it with.
Well, we don't have to mention every single detail because people.
We're a 1-hour podcast, guys.
We have to remember, like, why did they get the team together in the first place again?
To bring back Nia.
No. You're forgetting.
Basically,
what did they get them back for?
Well, that was actually kind of dubious. They kind of brought them back with the Venge Stone. That lasted all of 3 minutes, and they broke up again. Then they got back together again because of Nia.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, they were brainstorming about how to bring back Nia, like, before they even had her there, right?
Yeah, Wu was just in his library.
Yeah, but by that point, they'd basically given up and were just like, yeah, we kind of need to be a team again because something's going down with this Veg Stone stuff.
Yeah, but that just didn't last very long.
They just didn't care enough at that point.
Well, yeah, because,
Lloyd was busy washing windows, okay? He had a life outside of this.
I mean, hey, you gotta make money out there.
Big bucks.
But yeah,
did the Ninja make money?
No. The season 2, episode 1, no.
Yeah.
Well, the Ninja made money after Dareth started marketing them.
Oh yeah, that's true. It's true.
Mhm.
He became
Skybound.
their manager, so
But apparently now it's all washed up.
Yeah.
Well, I think
Just like
Dareth
Nia.
is just like an entrepreneur.
I think
like,
Darris
he
conned
can-
them out of all their money and bought a karaoke bar.
and he used the money from the bar to now become a lawyer.
Oh man,
Man
I
is
know we're gonna
great.
get to it, but Dareth in this season is great.
Yeah, Dareth in any capacity is great, but
Mhm.
the more Dareth, the better. So,
Mhm.
and this is more Dareth than some seasons.
I'm trying to remember
so-
exactly what was in the episode The Shape of Nia because the plot synopsis on the Ninjago wiki was not completed.
Basically, they track down some Vengestone. They find like the guy that's
yeah.
that
That's the
signs
least
for it,
interesting
and-
part. They meet the new
yeah.
ninja. It's just, there's not a ton more there.
pretty much.
So and yeah, then does it end when Zane freezes Nia?
Yep.
Okay. So then Skylar comes back, so that's the thing. I wonder if she'll be in this more. Also, she's not wearing her outfit from the new set. She's wearing her same outfit from Sons of
Which
Garmadon.
I'm glad because that means it has to have some sort of purpose.
Not necessarily. You know what else has not appeared near the new version of Pixel?
Really?
It may just not appear.
It probably won't.
Because I
But-
wouldn't be surprised if Skylar doesn't come up again.
The thing about Skylar that I just find funny is obviously when she was first introduced, it was kind of as like a somewhat contentious relationship with Kai, and since then they kind of flirt on and off again whenever she appears. But
I do like that little
the fact
detail
that
where
he kind of simps over her this whole time, and he's never really made any move to.
Well,
Kai hasn't
okay,
made a
it
move
just
on
shows,
anything since the pilot or season 1.
Yeah, it just shows how
Yeah.
clueless Kai is about everything. Jay had her number, but he didn't.
And Jay's married at this point.
Jay's got
but,
everyone's
Right?
number, Ford.
Married,
Just-
widowed.
Jay's
Notice
got
me
everyone's
and,
number. He's just a
Apparently,
people person.
I guess.
I like
Yeah.
how she just she
But
doesn't really
you
care
remember
at
that
this
exchange,
point.
right? It's oh wait, Jay, you had her number?
Yeah. I mean, Kai must have had some contact with her too, because remember in Hands of Time, he
Well,
went to visit her
apparently
at the
not.
noodle he went to visit her at the noodle shop. Then though,
Yeah,
and
but
he said thanks for agreeing to
her
meet.
noodle
So obviously
shop.
he called her.
He might have just been surprised.
I'm
that
guessing
Jay
they just
also
forgot. It was
had a
mostly just a
number.
throwaway.
Maybe
joke,
just
but-
call the noodle shop number, not her personal phone.
Well, what if that's what Jay did? I
Well,
mean, you
maybe
could also
he did,
interpret
but-
that joke as that Kai thought he was special and the only one that had her number.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, it's funny to see him kind of simp over her, and she's just completely uninterested at this point. Basically, she's content with disappearing for another 5 years before we'll see her again, and Kai's just gonna be like, "Hey, I haven't seen you in a while." It's just funny to me that they barely interact. Anyways.
But yeah, so then the ninja go, and then they go to break the spear out. Also, they moved all the stuff from under Borg Tower. You know, after it was just moved there a couple years ago during March
Yep.
of the Oni. I thought Hiroshi's Labyrinth was the safest place. Not anymore. Now it's Borg Tower's basement. Not anymore. Now it's a truck.
Which that's another thing. So I just want to make sure I get this right. So the police took it from Borg Tower. Is that who was moving it around? Or was
Well,
it a
Borg at least
Borg
built the
ta-
vault. I think it's implied, though, that there's some government cooperation going on with that.
Okay, I don't
Because obviously Borg
don't
could have just
understand,
said,
why
"Oh,
couldn't-
no, you can have it if you want."
Exactly. It's why couldn't they just ask him? It's hey, can you just ship this thing to us? We need it for a thing.
Well, that's
He's
basically
okay.
what Pixel said, but it is already on
But
its
she
way.
said-
But instead, they
steal
had to
it.
he could have just rerouted it.
I don't know.
Don't
No,
think
that
he
was that
could.
was a government car.
I think if he could, he would have.
If that's the case, then okay, fine.
And it was
Okay.
also under the protection of the new ninja, therefore there was, the mayor's direct involvement in that, basically. So, yeah, there's some form of government there, and he wouldn't have full control of that, so...
Mhm.
why he neglected to tell anyone about that, though. Like, oh yeah, by the way, the new ninja are there. I don't know, but maybe he
Maybe
just
the mayor
didn't
didn't
know.
tell him.
Yeah, like the prequels.
Also,
No.
remember, like on the map, Cryptarium is not close to Ninjago City. It's
Well, they even say so in this show that Cryptarium is out of the jurisdiction of Ninjago City.
but they get back way faster than the people who are tracking down a truck in Ninjago City. Because yeah, they break out of Sphera. Not a lot, I think, to discuss there. Yeah, they do get the staff, but not before revealing their identities.
Well, hold up. You mentioned this while watching the episode, and I just thought it was interesting to point out. But you said that she's held in where Garmadon was held in March of the Oni.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought that was at the bottom of Borg
No,
Tower.
then I realized later, though,
Cryptarium.
that wasn't right, because
Okay.
they have to take Garmadon from there back to the vault later to get the Realm Crystal, so...
Okay. I just thought I'd point that out because you made me think about things. Now,
oh yeah,
now
so
I know it's a
Sphera's
lie.
there. There's this whole subplot with her. Oh yeah, Wu's not on board with this whole breaking the law thing. So...
Not because he's against, like he doesn't like the man or whatever. It's just like he doesn't like that one snake. So he's just like, no, you can't do this. She'll betray us all.
I mean, he is right.
Scorned ex-lover.
I mean, he is right.
Yeah, but
so yeah, but she sucks out the water powers from Nia, turns her back into a real girl. Yay!
Which I mean, I'm fine with how it was done, but like I feel like it was almost too soon to bring her back, and after she's back, she doesn't really affect the plot by being there that much.
Okay, so now that we're in agreement,
no.
that was my issue, is that they didn't let it sink in.
Well, the thing is, Ford, you gotta remember, Seabound came out way before you technically watched it, so it's been sinking in for some people for a lot longer.
Yeah, I feel like a year is just too short, though. Right? Like,
no,
because Seabound came out like about a year ago, right?
Some shows are lucky if they get a year.
That's true.
Tell that to Galador. Anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know how it is. But I just feel like they could have waited until like the second half of the season at least to do that.
I mean, I understand the sentiment, but also that this is a very plot heavy. They want to get things going.
But yeah, I'm glad because it does kind of devolve from there, because it is needed for the plot to move forward. I get it.
But yeah, then they bring Nia back, and then they're arrested. And here's where it comes. Dareth is here.
Yeah, he's a lawyer now. Saul Goodman.
I
was thinking more Vinny Gambini.
Nah, he's Saul.
Yeah, it's Saul.
It's definitely Saul.
Yeah. Did you know that you have rights? Well, you don't, because you're a ninja.
And this also further supports the theory the ninja have no money.
Well, of course they can't even afford a good lawyer. They have to get Dareth.
Pro bono.
Though also a slight issue I noticed with this episode, they say like I've never seen them sentence someone so fast, like at the beginning, and then find out later they haven't actually introduced the judge, so there's no way that they had been sentenced already if the judge hadn't.
So
I wondered about
they were
that
sentenced
too.
in the court of public opinion.
Yeah,
That's the way Ninjago court works. It's all about public opinion, which is very dangerous.
Interestingly, though, like the judge did give the fairest ruling possible on the situation.
It's true.
I don't know. I think
It is true. It's a kid's show of being unfair, but
they actually did start using a lot of different legal terms in this, and like jokes that I feel like kids wouldn't get.
You only understand them because you played Ace Attorney, right?
I've done more than Ace Attorney. I watched Daredevil.
I went to court once.
But yeah, 40 threw me off so bad.
Rip.
Anyway,
Yeah,
5 years
they're
in
sentenced
prison.
to prison.
5 years in
they
prison, and
go
the
to
ninja are
prison.
kind of like, just going like, well, also, I do think it was cool they had it like after Ninja completed their goal, they did just, come quietly, which was the smart
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And again, it feels way better than previous seasons where it's just like, oh, the ninja have been caught and arrested for no good reason. Like,
Mhm.
they have
In
been.
fact, I don't think they even had a trial in Skybound.
Yeah. So it feels like, okay, yeah, this sucks, and we want to appeal this as much as possible, but we're gonna live with it. We're like, there is no immediate thoughts of breaking out like there is in like Skybound and stuff. So it's like, okay, I can
Also,
get
I
behind.
think it's in this episode we find out why Pythor is in prison. We questioned that earlier.
Yeah.
The new ninja just caught him at some point.
And it seems obviously it seems like a really recent thing too, because it's like the new ninja are only a recent thing.
Well,
So
they
it's like,
basically they came up in the year where the ninja just didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
They broke up, like a boy band or something like that.
Again.
So, yeah, that's why
again,
they
it's
came
like
up.
within the last year or so, but at least we know that Pythor has been just doing his
guys,
own
I
thing.
forgot about something that we missed in the episode, the one with Nia and Nied. They actually have flashbacks that have a Will Film era clips in them.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
I just
It
thought
was a
that
little
was
bit
neat
weird seeing
Skybound.
that.
because because they didn't do that. Remember in the Ice chapter, they couldn't get any clips from previous seasons. So
Oh.
Wonder what changed.
not
money.
sure. Oh, also, I might have missed this, and now I can't go back and check. But why didn't Aspira get water powers? Did some? And also, why happened to her
Yeah.
staff?
I was gonna ask that before. So, like, she did get fire powers when she sucked out.
I mean, it was
Kai's
obviously it was
powers.
like way more power, so maybe that has something to do with it. What happened to her staff too? Did it explode or something?
Maybe it blew
Did I miss
up.
that?
It seems
Because
like
she
it
did
maybe
get
blew
new
up.
staff from the Crystal King.
Yeah,
no,
so
but
what-
she still. No, I thought she still had the same one.
No, it was a
No,
new
she
one.
got a new
Got a new
one
one.
gifted to her
Oh, I didn't notice.
by the. It
Yeah,
was like
so
a
I feel like I
purple
missed what
version.
happened to her other staff, and now I can't go back and check.
Okay, well, they
It
did
had
say
too
that it
much
was a
universe
lot.
juice.
Yeah, they did say that she was absorbing a lot of power. From
Mhm.
They
Nia.
did.
And
Because
maybe
I
that
remember
did it.
during the episode, it's like,
And
well,
you know,
gee,
now that I think about it, you're
she
right.
stole-
Because like when she escapes, she doesn't have her staff.
Mm-mm.
Ah. Well, it's not like I can go back and watch this very easily now.
And this is something that I'm thinking about just in general with the season. Like, they tried to quiet a bunch of plot holes really quickly.
Yeah,
Like, I was literally just saying, oh, well, it took her a lot. She didn't take this long to get Kai's powers now, did she? And then immediately she's like, there's so much power. It's not how it usually goes. It's like, oh, okay. Then a bunch of times they're like, oh, why can't Zane just stay here? And it's because, oh, we need Zane here, there, or the other for this, that, the other.
yeah. As
And it's
much
like,
as I
okay.
really did love the Hageman brothers and think they did really well, I think Braggy Shoot has actually been a better writer as far as plot goes.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a lot more careful. Like, the Hagen brothers had this thing I highly disagreed with. They're like, we'd rather like show you something new and cool than explain what happened to something old. The new writers, Braggy Shoot's more like, why can't we do both?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Consistency is key.
And
here.
I really appreciate that with him. Like, he's been great on the show.
Also, like, why
Except
are
for
the
the
ninja
island. He has
afraid
written
of-
Ronin horribly, and I hope
Yeah, that
that
was
he
bad.
pays for that.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Why are the ninjas so afraid of being in prison? They're the ninja.
Well,
They
it's
have
implied also.
powers.
Okay, there's a couple things on there.
And they did mention in the episode too, like that they were trying not to use powers and stuff.
And I get
so
that,
that
but like, it's like
could
if you want to
appeal
assert your
easier.
dominance,
Well, it's also
Kinda
You
implied
already
that
are
they're.
Jay is
dominant.
the only
You
one that's
put them all
afraid
there.
anyway.
Well, they're
I
also.
don't think anyone but Jay is worried.
Yeah, that's true. Also, Jay's the only one worried. And remember, also, it's been shown plenty of times. They're pretty out of shape. They can't match all the
That-
power
oh yeah,
bottoms
they got
in prison.
soft and flabby.
That has been a serious plot point throughout this entire season.
True.
Meanwhile, everyone in prison's just been lifting all day,
Yep.
Yeah, I do
Yeah.
think
except
that
for
like
Soto
later
apparently.
on, like right. Like I do think that later on with the next few episodes in this season that they're going to establish that like they need to work together better because they've sort of shown off that they're not working very well together anymore because they've been away for so long. So,
Yeah, they're probably going to get to that. Or I hope they don't put too much, too cliche of an emphasis on it. Just like some small things.
yeah, like it's got to be something you build up to, not just like, hey,
I
we
mean,
have to
I
work
feel like
together,
they
team.
kind of-
Okay, no comma, let's go.
I feel like they're kind of building it up more. Like, so we get like 2 or so episodes where they're split up a bit more. So you have one group A and group B, where it's not as big of a group, but they're sort of learning more of how do I interact with these 3 and be a team versus how I act with these 2, and then okay, let's keep building from there. But I don't know. Maybe they don't know how to do these things, but I feel like that's a good way to start building them back together to work out just a bit more. Well, because there wasn't a huge emphasis on them not working together as much as there was in that one point where they said, "Oh, gee, the new ninja, it really kicked our tails basically because they can work together."
Oh, also, so when they're in prison, one of my big things there was, so who's the one that doesn't get the bed? And they did answer that later. It's Jay. I like how that Zane. He reminds me. Okay, and now you know what I was reminded so much. Like we're talking about our vacation plans. Like we were discussing. Because the house we're renting, one person does not get a bed and lead an air mattress. We won't get into all the details of that, but like, Orion, you don't even sleep on a mattress at home, right? So why don't you just, sleep on the floor like at home? It's like, nah, I think I might treat myself to a bed if I win that lottery. That reminds me so much like Zane. Why do you need to?
Yeah, like Zane doesn't need to sleep.
Yeah,
He is on vacation. Gotta give him that.
He's a grown man. He can buy his own bed if he likes beds.
Technically, a 5-year sentence is not like unreasonable. He could just live forever. It's just his friends.
You're talking about Zane, not Orion.
No, I was talking about Orion.
I know. I'm not. That's just what I was reminded of in that situation. Like Zane's like, what if we're talking about that? I would prefer to have a bunk.
Oh man.
And there's all sorts of other prison hijinks. Ronan is there, and their ninja don't appreciate anything Ronan ever did for them.
Yep, they're only enemies.
Despite helping him with the ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't acknowledge him
Skybound.
going to out of his way to attend Nia's funeral.
Well, attending Nia's funeral after being caught again.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, he was with his parole officer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so... Yeah, I really hope that Ronan gets more. Just...
It's possible, really.
Remember when Ronan appeared every season for a while?
Yeah.
Right?
He was like an edgy Dareth.
I mean, he was never always on the ninja's side, but... They seem to just all of a sudden just hate him completely.
Yeah, they do not.
Well, I feel like they were
anymore.
trying to reestablish him as a villain with the island, but they just didn't do it.
Yeah, they
right.
didn't. And the idea always, like Tommy Anderson said this in the beginning, like the idea of Ronan was he was supposed to be a character that could either be an ally or an adversary. He's not just supposed to be purely an adversary.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of like Sawyer in Lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Actually, he's a lot. Even down to the design
Yeah.
is kind of...
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Really, like the hair, like
Ginger Sawyer.
the look with the like the 5 o'clock shadow sort of thing. Like, yeah.
And the long hair.
Yeah.
By the way, if people are listening, Kevin and Ford are now watching Lost for the same time. But you should go ahead and watch it too. It's on Hulu, which actually is like $1 a month for 3 months right now. So you really have no excuse.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And Lost is very, very good.
It is.
Well, wait, is that
Everybody
1
watched
month?
it for
Is that like for $1 with the ads?
Yeah, it's with ads. But
I
if you're
prefer no
poor, you
ads.
have no excuse. You can
It's
watch
true.
ads if you're poor. That's the price you pay for your bad life choices. All right. Yeah. Just as an aside, I do hope we get more Ronin in the future because I like Ronin. We also, like I said, we saw Soto in here.
As a loser.
Ultraviolet's in here again, which is odd because I'm reading the Garmadon comics, and Ultraviolet is not imprisoned in those. So,
Well, maybe she got captured by the new ninja.
unless, depending on how this episode release goes, I hope we don't not get the rest of it until like November, when I think like.
Oh, I bet that's what
Garmadon
No, they're gonna wait till November to release the episodes we just saw.
No, I said we're not going to talk about that. We're not.
It's like you're not going to get the
Positive
next, like
thoughts.
you're not going to get the next
Positive
half
thoughts.
season until like next year. Like, just watch that happen.
No.
But anyway, as far as the main plot goes, like we didn't get to see too much of it, which I'm okay with.
Oh yeah, I
I'm
think
okay
Nia
with.
in this episode also is throwing a depressive fit, but
Yeah. Throwing everything she owns in the garbage.
Right.
I like
And then,
how
of
Wu
course,
says
hey,
that.
look,
It's like
I'll just be
when we're feeling a lot of
Samurai X
emotion,
again.
we
It's
tend to
like,
do
okay.
rash things like throwing away all possessions. Like, yep, Wu, I've experienced that with people. Multiple times. Matter of fact, 11.
11 times. That's a lot of times.
Huh? Wake up! Something's happening!
But, yeah, and then, oh yeah, Play Thursday talks about the Crystal King, word getting around. I do believe it's in, is it in this episode? Yeah, I believe it is, where,
Mumsy?
Where Pythor escapes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, we kind of skipped a few. Apparently, that
Or-
whole
oh,
arc
yeah.
with the breaking out was just several
invited to join the council of the Crystal
episodes. Yeah,
King, and
and
have your
Preparing Prison
revenge upon
Blues. Yeah,
those
was the one we're just
who
talking
wronged you.
about.
Yeah,
Do
so like
you accept?
that was actually a pretty cool like
give me a
sequence
sec
where
to wake
Lloyd
up.
is escaping, sorta.
Oh yeah, I
Well,
forgot
to
about
chase
the
after-
Crystal King messenger.
Yeah, to chase after.
I like how every time they technically escaped, they're just saying, "No, we're not trying to escape. You guys just aren't doing your jobs."
Which I mean is true.
Oh yeah, well also the
it is
Crystal King
true, but I
messenger.
like the way it is portrayed. Like, yeah, they don't want to screw up their appeal, but they
Yeah.
totally
Oh yeah,
are.
Jareth comes visit him in prison. He's like, "All right, guys, here's the thing. We're gonna file for a mistrial." On what grounds, Jareth? I love how they don't even like explain what all that is. Just.
Also, like I thought maybe my legal jargon is just bad, and it is. I thought it was an appeal they had.
Huh?
Yeah. A mistrial is something.
Something's
A mistrial is like if something was the proceedings in the trial were not right.
Okay, so I'm not like 100% dumb. That's good.
That was the joke. Was
Again, this
I believe
joke was
his
not
grounds were that he didn't like the ruling.
I mean,
Yeah.
I get that was the joke. It's just that I just wanted to make sure that I got that.
like if someone
So we're
leaks
good.
something like
You
private
are
stuff from the
invited
court to the
join
public, you can file
council
for a
of the
mistrial.
Crystal King,
Yeah.
and have you
But yeah, go
revenge
Darren.
upon
So it's
those
like
who
on
wronged you.
grounds that we do not like the ruling.
Give me
Oh,
a sec to
Derek.
wake up.
So then, as we go to the next episode, Derek's plan B sucks.
Yeah.
Like it was just I'm guessing it was because they're supposed to investigate the Crystal King, but that the ninja were not just on board. That just suddenly and Nia's on board with this for some reason. They're just like, all right, let's just go break out then instead of just waiting 5 years. Which even in your young life, you'll still have time when you get out at that point. To not be on the run, where you could just be ruining your life forever by breaking out.
Yeah, but we
And-
gotta do stuff right now. Dang it!
One thing
now.
we could mention from that episode is that Pixel apparently has super speed powers.
Oh
or
yeah, that's
something
been
like
kind
that.
of a running joke, but I don't know if they're
I,
gonna.
it
I
seems
think
like it's going to be a running
Something's happening.
plot development.
I think it's more of just a
in this-
cartoonish joke.
I mean,
I
how
think
else
also
do you
maybe
build
she's
these
like
vehicles for all the
calculating.
ninjas?
Oh, this would take this much time if like a person was doing it. However, I am a machine. I don't need sleep. I don't need to eat. I don't need water. I can do this way faster.
Pythor Peach,
But
Possible. I got a different vibe, but I could easily.
I think it's just a joke, and it's supposed to be. There's no way this is possible. And everyone just questions. I don't think they're gonna take it too serious.
Yeah, it's just a
That makes sense. That makes sense. But also, yeah,
Give me
Nia
a
has a giant
sec to
robot
wake
again.
up.
Yep. But if they also if all that, I'm fine with the development. He goes back to just being Samurai X.
Yeah.
That's all right.
But
Though Nia
that
did
does
have
leave
some
the-
cool ninja outfits. That
Yeah,
I
that
liked.
does leave the question, like, so what happens with the elemental power of water if it's just lost to the wind?
Well, what happened to the elemental power of wind?
I mean, it's
Wind
not.
has a new host, they confirmed.
Yeah,
that.
so
Did
it
they?
hasn't gone
Okay.
away.
So I'm guessing that the same happened with water then.
Okay.
Or, you know, like if Kai's children would get it.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
because it would be. Well, would it necessarily
varies.
be a family?
We really don't know how that works.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
doesn't seem the rules are
Wake up!
too hard and
Something's
fast.
happening.
For
Yeah, it just seems to me
elemental
like
power.
with this season they're trying to reestablish the status quo from season 1 of the original show.
It's hard to say really what happened with the water powers too because Aspira sucked them out of Nia.
Yeah.
So
They
is,
blew off
but
question
should
mark.
Aspira technically have them?
What if Nelson
Does the
gets
staff
them?
have them? I
Mm,
don't know.
I wouldn't mind that.
I don't know.
Yeah, so I mean, a variety of things
Barrett
could
gets
happen.
them.
So Tirith have the power of brown and water. That's too much for any one man.
Gee, I wonder what the.
Oh,
brown is
also, I
for.
forgot this. I'm just looking at I got the trailer playing on loop for the podcast here. The golden weapons show up briefly, but they're powerless for some reason.
Yeah, that's weird. I
I'm
didn't
sure-
remember
we
that
obviously we
happening.
know they're gonna come up again because they're in the sets, but
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're in the promo stuff.
yeah. So
Oh yeah, I've got Esphira pranks Woo like 100 times in a row.
oh yeah, yeah that
That
that's a
happens.
thing. There's a lot happens.
Yeah, they are using their time pretty effectively.
Also, speaking of
I
things that
like
we kind of phased over, but just 'cause I want to talk about now, Fugidove comes back. And, like, Fugidove has been one of the best characters introduced in forever, and he's just even better this time.
And he helps them escape from prison. So
He
stuff.
sacrifices himself.
Yeah, that was so weird.
Oh, a little mistake. I feel like we don't need to go bit by bit for like after they escape. It's just they go through the desert
It
for
is
a while.
kind
They
of-
split
yeah.
up, and some stuff happens. They're going to Twitchy's gas station. But yeah, let's just talk about the stuff we want to. Like, oh yeah, also the new like detective or whatever. Bloodhound was
Dog
it?
the
Mad
Bounty
Dog
Hunter.
or whatever his name is. Yeah. Like
Yeah, he's around.
no.
There was a really weird road trip with a child, and I'm glad that's over.
Yeah, that wasn't. People keep on saying like, "Oh, that's like one of the best episodes." Like this
One of the
sucks.
worst.
Yeah, she was a bit. I mean, it could
This
have been
sucks.
worse, but yeah, it wasn't great. They do a thing from the Goofy movie where the car floats and they drive it down the river.
They did. Classic.
Like somehow
I-
all the stuff is still on it too.
I did like
that's
the
what I
point
can't
where
believe.
Dog like just like he's drives his car into the river after them.
He does it, and then they're like, "Why didn't he take the helicopter?"
Like too obvious.
Ugh.
But anyway,
but
no.
Twitchy was also in this season.
Oh yes, he was. But
And he
we're gonna.
sold them out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
immediately.
Twitchy.
Yeah, that's twitchy.
But Fugidove is just like hilarious. He might be like some of the funniest things ever in Ninjago. Where like he's like so concerned because it goes back to when he's first introduced that anime episode where he's like declares Jay his arch nemesis. Where I found Fugidove just like very entertaining as a premise back then, but he wasn't like his jokes weren't all that great specifically.
He's kind of like a top 10 anime character right now.
Yeah, and then like
Mhm.
I might have to actually go back and rewatch this one because then they broke out in Prime Empire, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and he was good in that too where he just like that's where we get Fugidove's theme. And I forget even what else he all does. I've seen Prime Empire twice and probably have to see it again at this point. That was like 2 or 3 years ago now, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'd say 2 years ago.
Dang. But anyway. Yeah, so then he has like this whole thing where he's like, well, Jay, now that you're a villain, what are we going to do? So he just decided, no, now Jay is like my young ward, and we're going to...
You're my sidekick, my little partner in crime.
Blue Jay.
It's just like, he makes Jay so uncomfortable on the bus.
He's
And Jay the whole
begging for
time
him
is
to
just
stop,
like,
but there's no
Who
relief.
are you, anyways?
And you don't see him. He disappears every so often, but he still just ends up with them.
He disappears while they're in a barren desert, all walking together. The man's
The
in all
water
white clothing.
scene. The water scene.
Oh yes, it's like the water. It's like, all right, Jay, time to teach you your next lesson. He's like, we had water. He's like, not anymore.
Littering.
Vandalism.
Littering.
Literally.
And then at the end, Fugidum just like saves them all. Like, run, take care of Blue Jay.
Fly, you fools.
Oh, that.
That's rich.
Oh, it was so good.
Oh. So they make it back to Ninjago City eventually.
Yeah, they steal a cop car.
And they start going on the trail of the
They
Crystal
do.
King.
They blow up the other one.
Yeah. Also, they reference that the noodle maker makes cold noodles back from, I think, Prime Empires. And was it Prime Empire or was it the anime episode again, the first one where Fugitive was introduced, and they introduced the mechanic's truck in that one.
I do not
don't
know
know.
this well
Either,
enough to say.
or was it those short clips for
'Cause
Prime
I thought-
Empire that weren't in the season?
Maybe.
It might have been the short clips, honestly.
But yeah, he referenced it being a cold cup of noodles, and Jay
Okay.
also references it being cold. It's continuity, everyone.
You gotta
I
love
love
it.
continuity.
So
So yeah,
also the
so
mechanic
like
is just beating them up.
Oh, yeah, he is wiping the floor with them constantly.
Yeah,
Every
and he was like a B tier villain. Oh, they say
Well,
he
the
Mechanic's
graduated
been
higher than
around
C
a
tier.
long time, but he's just slowly risen to more and more prominence.
like he's been around since what, Skybound?
Skybound's always introduced. Yeah, he tries
Wow.
to mutilate Zane's body to use it for his own.
Right, because he shows up in prison.
Yep.
Yes.
And then I think he doesn't show up again until Sons of Garmadon.
Right. And that's the first, like, technically in this sort of timeline, the first time he ever actually fights them that we know of.
Yeah. He just got out of
So-
prison. His sentence was up. Maybe the judge just gives light sentences all the time. I don't know.
Well, this is a feudalist, feudalist society,
Trying to
right?
think, and then because he shows up again with the anime episode, I think the next time it's like where him and Ultraviolet and Fugitive all break out.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember if that was during the Fire and Ice chapter. I feel like it. Yeah, no, it was because that was the first anime episode, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm glad they gave up on that.
Yeah. Out
If
to
they
the
were
ice
going to do it, they
chapter.
should have done it better.
Yeah, the Korgon one was good.
Yeah, but that wasn't the same.
That was the last one they did, also.
Yeah, they also took a break from it too with like Prime Empire and stuff. So
Actually,
they
would
had
have suited
time.
Prime Empire pretty well.
It was more of like I feel like they tried to do parody with the first one, but then the second one was like really super self-serious for no reason, and then this was like just full-on parody with Korgan.
Mhm.
So
Think Korgon will show up? I miss Korgon.
I don't
in
know.
the background somewhere, maybe. If they want Cole to have a friend. for
Were
a
the
second.
Upply at Nia's funeral?
I
I
feel
don't
like
remember.
at least one of them was.
There were a lot of Shintaro people around, so it stands to reason they wouldn't forget to include those guys.
Oh.
So, yep. And then the mechanic was gonna be the last person on the Crystal King's council or whatever. They disguise
Yes.
Lloyd as him. Lloyd goes in that subway thing from The Incredibles. Shot
It was a
out
really
there.
bad disguise. A giant mustache, blonde hair. I don't buy it.
And we see Mr. F for the first time there, and yep, then it's revealed, and then we finally, so we haven't talked about this, like the Crystal King's messenger. I really was wondering who it was gonna be at first.
Okay.
I kind of figured
I will
it
say,
out
like,
immediately.
so for me, for some reason, when they had that meeting between the messenger and the and Lloyd when he was in prison, I kept thinking that behind, because he kind of reveals himself where it's like the hat's sort of like down, and then he like looks up, and I thought for a second like, oh, So that's going to be Garmadon.
That's
right?
what I
Yeah.
thought at first too.
But then, of course, it's the messenger. I'm like, oh, okay, this
Well, I
is
thought there's a
interesting.
possibility
like,
the
playing your
messenger
hand
was
like that.
Garmadon because we know he has 2 arms again.
I didn't. So I didn't. I never thought it would be Garmadon, but I didn't know who it was going to be. But then it just kind of like the writing was on the wall
Yeah,
as soon
at
as he
that
got
point,
in the room.
if we wouldn't have known
Yeah.
the sets, also remember we talked to the Two Truths and the Lie episode. We know that the sets placing characters that weren't in the show in the sets was not the thing. So the potted plant and the song are the 2 truths.
I told you. I told you I was right.
Well, it's possible that Garmadon could come up too.
Oh, you think Garmadon won't be in the season?
No, that he will be in. The
Oh no, yeah,
season.
that's what I was talking about. That he
Okay.
that likely all the minifigures in the sets are accurate.
Okay.
So, but oh well, I still think it was fun. We still know there. There's that other Harumi
wait,
theory
did-
we had out
Yeah.
there.
Okay.
But
That, like,
this
is this a-
Harumi did know some things more personal
But
about.
no, so did
Lloyd,
Harumi and Prime
obviously.
Empire though.
True.
'Cause remember,
But
it's based
she
off-
didn't know
that's the thing.
everything
So
personal, you know.
I'm curious to see like where this Harumi
I'm guessing-
came from.
It's probably just normal Harumi. There was the Prime
But then
Empire
how?
Harumi. Well, we
How?
didn't see a body. Likely, what's gonna happen is like the Crystal Kings, little things come and take her. There's gonna be a flashback, I'm sure.
Mhm.
And a Crystal Kings things
Because
come and take
that's the
her
thing.
and-
So like the way she appears in this show, she appears normally, but in the minifigure in the upcoming wave, she has red eyes. Like she still has the red makeup.
I think
right?
it's purplish eyes.
Whatever. Like she has like these weird colored eyes that are kind of like bulging out.
Hmm.
So like something's off.
I mean, it could still be a fake out,
Maybe.
but I
knows?
don't think so. But we'll see. Anything could happen.
I feel like they want to bring back a ton of villains because we got Pythor for the first time in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
5
Oh,
years.
Yeah, it's just
No.
like
More than 5 years. No, 6 years.
it's just
Yeah.
like I feel like again if this is sort of their big finale, yeah, they want real recognizable villains. And Harumi is definitely one of them at this point. So
It's really just
I feel like
Hutchins.
there's going to be some explaining, but I think at this point, yeah,
You
They
really just
want
want Hutchins back.
Not really.
they have. So
I just think it's hilarious that he's so dead. But yeah, that's basically what we got. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
I'm kind of glad they didn't show the Crystal King at all. I'm glad they're waiting on that one.
Yeah, even though
Yeah.
there we revealed him out is we get that was obvious a long time ago. But,
Yeah, we know who it is. It's revealed in reviews.
but
Pretty obvious.
but
I
We
don't
won't
know what
repeat
his
it
I have
here.
no idea what his goal is though.
at least basically within the season we have a bunch of big mysteries revealed, so they can build upon who is the Crystal King, even though we know at least we had our
Yeah,
fun
it's
with
like we know who it is,
Messenger
so
and
we
stuff like
definitely
that,
know
so.
who the where the goal is.
We can ask and
Yeah.
wonder, okay, when's Garmadon gonna come into this? How long are they gonna spend on actually explaining what the heck he's been up to? Because
Mhm.
I know the comics are doing that right now, but
And I mean, like, if you got,
why has
got
he got 2
another-
arms? You know,
True,
things
right?
like that.
but I mean, like,
So-
if this is going to be a 30 episode season, you got plenty of time. Got plenty of time.
If it
Even with
is,
11
I'd be
minute
so
episodes.
happy because I would love to just give it some time to. Okay, I know where Pythor's been. I'm happy with that because I was like, are they just never gonna explain that? They explained it. I'm good. Explain to me about Garmadon. You can explain to me about the Crystal King. You know, just
The Crystal Over King.
yeah, the just give me some detail. Why where has he been this whole time? Why has he waited this long? They could say, oh, he's just been waiting because he wasn't powerful enough. Okay, I'm on board. just
like
give me something.
if the
you know?
if the Crystal Over King is supposed to be the embodiment of all evil or darkness or whatever, then you can't exactly kill it. You have to have both to create some kind of a, you have to have the two extremes to weigh the scale. So that makes sense. But it just seems to me like this whole season is just about like cutting down all of the weird, complicated stuff and just getting back to basics, like reasserting the status quo. You got the 5 ninja, you got Samurai X, you got your generic bad guys. What else you got?
Special to me.
You got Dareth.
Well, yeah, you got
do have
him, yeah.
different.
You got some of the new people like Fugitive, so it just seems like everybody's going to be in this, which is good.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
So
And if the sets are any indication, Garmadon will show up.
yeah,
Yeah.
which that's another thing. Like, not much set representation here. Like,
Not
you get
yet.
the 4 vehicles, and you get all the good guy vehicles, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. Which I'm
And
glad.
we did see some of the like villains, and interestingly enough, they are made of Venge Stone, so that's confirmed at this point. That was sort of just like something we didn't know whether or not they were, but yeah, just the grunts are Venge Stone warriors, which again, Stone warriors. Who's done that before?
Gee, I don't know. It
But
does
now
sound.
they're Venge Stone warriors.
Yeah. Oh,
so
I know who did stone before. It was Nexo Knights.
Chevy.
Yeah, Nexo Knights had a stone thing. Yeah, like
So-
they were lightning golems or whatever.
So it's interesting to
Yeah.
see what they're going.
I'm
to be
interested
doing
to
with that.
see how Ninjago plays on this concept that Nexo Knights created. Yes, totally Nexo Knights. Everybody remembers that show.
Do they though?
No.
I remember Chima. That was all about
Oh,
Venge
boy.
Stone. Stone
Ah, yes.
warriors.
The furry drug war.
Yeah, there wasn't any. Yeah, there wasn't any stone warriors in furry drug war. So
But they were.
I don't know. They
stone
might have been.
warriors.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because of the drugs.
Okay.
It's a metaphor.
That's good. That's enough.
It's never
I
enough.
think we've sufficiently covered these 12. I thought they were really good, and I really want to
Yeah.
see more. Like
Yeah.
that, I don't want to get into a discussion about when we'll see more, but
yeah, I will say I was kind of meh with Seabound, but now it's like, yeah, I'm in.
It was fun, and it was very hard to not watch the next one
Mhm.
until all 12 were gone.
Yeah, I was thinking, how many episodes per season is there usually? Because it's like, this show's gonna be coming like to an end really soon at this point. But
Yeah,
no,
kinda-
I'm glad that hopefully we'll get a lot more.
oh yeah, one more thing.
content.
There is a chance that Pixel gets just dropped after this.
It would be funny if she dies.
Yeah, well, there's multiples because Nia's now
Jeez.
Samurai X again. Also, they have the literal just endgame parody poster that they're using for this season, and Pixel's right in
right.
Black Widow's spot.
Yeah.
Ironic.
Not so subtle foreshadowing, I guess.
I don't know that that'll for sure be the case, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh man, yeah, I will say like this season, it kind of reminds me of when I was reading Harry Potter again after I graduated, because I had some downtime, and I'd take like a week between books, and then between 6 and 7, because it had been a while since I read those books. Between 6 and 7, I was like, no, I gotta read this right now. I gotta read right now. Dang it, I gotta see how it ends. Now I feel like this with this. I'm like, what?
I will say,
the
just
childhood
please,
that has
Lego,
been
don't
gone
have
for
it
so
released
long?
somewhere else, and then just there are a bunch of leaks and spoilers online before you can see it. Some people think that we might get an answer to it at LegoCon. I'm not optimistic, but LegoCon's June 18th. We'll see.
Well, I mean, the last LegoCon revealed nothing new.
Yeah, that's why I'm skeptical. Although they have actually line stuff, sets up they're going to reveal. Avatar is going to be revealed. Star Wars sets are going to be revealed there.
They will be leaked a week in advance.
I mean, that's always the case.
It's just, that's going to happen.
But I mean, they are trying, is my point. I don't foresee it happening, but I do not discount the possibility of it.
I don't know. I just feel like these fan conventions just show how tone deaf these companies are becoming. But I'm speaking more to Hasbro than I am of Lego. Lego's still doing okay, but today you did a bad thing.
Yeah, I just like I have multiple theories on that, and I just don't want to go into them right now because it's gonna be irrelevant eventually, anyways.
Yeah, I hear you.
But, so that's gonna about do it for us today. As always, a link to the Discord server in the description below. Please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and all that good stuff. Best thing you can do right now actually is click that share button, share it to your YouTube feed. That's a newer thing they're doing. YouTube seems to like that though. It makes so this video comes up in more subscription boxes. So good thing you can do for us there. We will be
Don't
back.
forget to check out Rumble.
Oh, yes, Rumble as well. This episode will be up on Rumble, where you can watch the whole thing. We get our ad revenue from that, unlike on YouTube, where they don't give us any money for the ads that play on this channel. And yeah, we will be back next week with another episode of the BCC podcast. If by some miracle they just end up dropping another batch of Ninjago episodes, maybe we'll talk about those. Otherwise, we'll probably talk about some Lego news. We're going to be out the week after that, but as you can probably see on the channel, episode 311 has been pre-recorded. We do a game, and yeah, tune in that. We've got a guest star. You'll be able to find out who that was when you watch it, and that will be on June 6th. It just occurred to me that we will also be gone the Monday after that.
Oh, no.
No more BCC podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
So we might be gone 1 week. Stay tuned to our Discord server for updates.
Right, because that's
that.
when we're going to be leaving. Right.
I mean, we still have like 3 days after that booked, so.
All right, yeah.
Well,
some of us
maybe
are
we'll,
leaving.
yeah, maybe we'll do
Maybe,
something.
I don't know.
We'll see. Just keep on the Discord server for updates. All right. Be sure to share your thoughts on this season of Ninjago if you got a chance to watch it. If you didn't, then, hit me up. I'll show you where to see it. It's worth seeing, and you shouldn't have to wait and get spoiled for it by this episode you just watched. So for Ford, Mace, Malurs, myself, LQ, thank you for listening. See you on the next episode.